Yo, what's good? This is like late, early morning DFD talking current events. And y'all probably like, dude, why the hell are you on there at this time of night? Well, there's a few reasons. One, because I'm up. Two, because I'm gonna have some extra time on my schedule because your boy old and I got injured myself at the gym trying to be a fake ass Hercules. So now here I am. I ain't gotta go to the gym. So I was like, man, I can do it live. And I'm up. So, I was like, let's go ahead and do it now. Cause later on today, I want to talk about a scam that's been repackaged and repurposed. So in this video, we're going to talk about the Jonathan Majors verdict and the big ass bag fumble that Jonathan Majors had. If you're new to the channel, I'm Marcus, the debt-free dad. I'm a licensed attorney where we talk finances, attorney reactions, current events, all of that good stuff. I'm licensed in several jurisdictions, but none of those jurisdictions amount to me being your attorney. So what does that mean? It means don't rely on me or damn near anybody else on social media for your legal or financial advice. Seek a professional, somebody in your area, somebody with some fiduciary obligations to make sure you're doing the right thing, get the right information, and more importantly, not committing a crime. So let's talk Jonathan Majors' verdict. The verdict came out today. The brother was found guilty of harassment, which was a non-criminal charge, and third-degree minor assault, which didn't include the element of intent. I know New York got some weird laws. I knew that. I knew him pulling her out or pushing her in that car was going to cause some problems. Now, hey, candor to everybody watching, I didn't watch the entire trial, but I did kind of catch the highlights. And let's take a look at the video real quick. We're going to watch this video. I'm going to give y'all my quick take because I think there's a few things that could have been done to probably make his case a little smoother. Is he going to file an appeal? We're going to talk about it, but let's check out this video, and then we're going to dive in. Let's go and pull it up. Get breaking news.
We have a verdict in the case of Hollywood star Jonathan Majors. A jury has found him guilty of some charges in this New York criminal case, which stems, of course, from a domestic incident with his former girlfriend.
Yeah, Majors is best known for his roles in Marvel films and TV shows, along with Creed 3. CNN's Elizabeth Wagmeister joins us now, along with CNN legal analyst Joey Jackson. Elizabeth, first to you, what can you tell us about what he's been found guilty of?
So Jonathan Majors was found guilty on some charges stemming from this domestic dispute. Now, this all stems from an incident that occurred in March of this year between Jonathan Majors and his ex-girlfriend, Grace Jabari. They were in a car, and evidence that was released during the trial showed them outside of the car. Now, what Grace Jabari alleged is that Jonathan Majors struck her in the head, also on her arm. There was a doctor who testified during the trial that said that she had a fracture on her finger. So he has been found on one count of assault and another with harassment and was acquitted on two other charges.
And Joey, you're following this. What's your reaction to this verdict?
So the reaction is that the jury had a lot to evaluate, and by finding guilty on some charges and not the others, it means that in evaluating the testimony, Brianna and Bars, that there were some things that the jury credited and other things that they did not. It appears as though there was a guilty finding on what's called reckless assault. Well, what is that? There's a distinction between intentional assault, which means that it was your intent, it was your goal, it was your aim, it was your objective to assault, versus reckless. Reckless is the conscious disregard. It means the jury didn't make a finding that was intentional, but it was sufficiently reckless, right, such that the jury made a finding as to that. The jury also made a finding as to harassment, which is not a crime. It's simply a violation. A violation of law means that it doesn't rise to the level of a criminal offense. And just in terms of clarifying the parlance, a misdemeanor offense in New York State is a offense that is punishable by up to a year in jail, a violation punishable by up to 15 days. And so that's what the judge will have to, sentencing, evaluate whether there's any time at all that is going to be imposed. But that would be certainly the parameters of any sentencing. Not there yet, but when we get there, what it'll be facing.
Elizabeth, it's not just the sentencing that he's facing, but also a huge fall in grace and in his reputation as a Hollywood star. Take us through his story, because he was rapidly becoming a household name.
Absolutely. And the fact that he was found guilty on some charges, no matter what he is sentenced to or not, as Jesse said, you're absolutely correct that now there is going to be some sort of fall from grace. Now, not everybody at home may know who Jonathan Majors is, but he was on his way to becoming an A-list star. Had he not been on trial right now, he would likely be campaigning for an Oscar. Earlier this year at the Sundance Film Festival, he had a film debut called Magazine Dreams. It got rave reviews. He could have been on the Oscar campaign for that. Now, perhaps even more important, he was cast as basically the future star of Marvel's next phase. He was cast as the character called Kang, who is a villain. He had already made his debut in this character, but had not yet debuted in his own film. Marvel was anchoring 2 films around him. We know that these movies can each make upwards of $1 billion, even $2 billion for one of the most recent Avengers films. So now Disney has a big decision to make. Do they keep him? Do they not? With 2 guilty charges, that is going to be very difficult. And I have to tell you, prior to getting this verdict in, I spoke to my sources, and people in the industry are saying no matter what the verdict was, this is hard for a company, particularly like Disney, which is family friendly, to keep someone who has been accused and now found guilty of these charges.
Yeah, very good point. I think we have much more to hear ahead on this.
All right, so that's what happened, and so there's a few things that come from this. Somewhere in the future, Jonathan Majors' next big movie role is probably going to be on Tubi. Yo, this, I hate to say it, but this dude, it's going to be a wrap. My homeboy said it's going to be on Crackle, but his next movie is going to be a Tubi production. And yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be a minute before we see this guy on the big screen as well. You know, it's funny because I thought the same thing. I was like, they talk about Disney is family friendly, but y'all go look up the history of Disney. Disney had a little suspect ways coming up and some very suspect origins, kind of like Mercedes did and all those other companies out there. So yeah, it's funny that Disney is the poster boy for good conduct. But we know what happened. As soon as that verdict came out, Disney drop kicked his ass out the door, which was wild. It was terrible. So my first thought was, man, how much money did this guy potentially lose? So I took a look at the contract that Robert Downey Jr. signed as a foundational star character in the Disney process, because that's exactly what he was going to be in this Kang the Conqueror role. And it said that dude made somewhere between $75 to $85 million. Now, I don't think Majors would have got that sweet deal like that, but he probably lost over $50 million just off the movie franchises that would have spun off from this whole Kang the Conqueror role off the jump. So he definitely fumbled a big bag. And, when I looked at some of the things that went on in the trial, because I had to look at it to kind of take a few things that I think probably should have been done differently. I felt like his side did not object enough to a lot of old ass evidence that wasn't relevant to the facts and circumstances. They had text messages that came out from years ago and conversations that came out from years ago. I personally think that there was a way where they could have made a good constitutional based objection on the ground of relevance, on worst case scenario, you always say objection, due process. This just isn't fair, Your Honor. It's old evidence. But I feel like the defense counsel could have objected more. And I think one of the questions, and they may have asked this question, but I didn't see it because I wasn't sitting up watching this whole long ass trial. But I think you only ask questions that you know the answer to, right? So the first question I would have asked her is, Ms. Jabari, you were chasing after, that was you in that video chasing after them, after Mr. Majors, correct? She's going to say yes. And you were chasing after him because you wanted him to stay put. You wanted to continue to have the conversation and discussion with him. That's correct. What's she going to say? No, no. She's going to say, yes, that's correct. And you wanted him to have that conversation the minute it happened from the time you were in the vehicle. You wanted him to stay where he was at so y'all can have that conversation. Is that correct? Yes. So the reason he was pulling away from you because he didn't want to have the conversation and you wanted him to stay put. Is that correct? Yes. All of those lines of question would have just strung her up perfectly. So, because the problem was where he was trying to push her back in the car, and it looked like she hit her head on the top of the car door entrance. That's, in my opinion, I don't think that that's an assault if you would have asked those foundational questions building up. Because if you ask those line of questioning, then when you go back to that incident in the car, she was trying to restrain him from leaving. So when he was pushing her off, it wasn't an unintentional assault. He was trying to prevent himself from being assaulted and falsely imprisoned by staying somewhere where he didn't want to stay. That would have been the argument to make to address that assault getting out of the vehicle, in my opinion. But it was a wild trial. This dude lost 50 M's or more. His next movie is going to be like at the Sundance Film Festival, not in theaters. And it's a shame because the big takeaway from it, one, somewhere in a multiverse, somewhere on Earth 27, they going to have some dope ass movies with him as Kang the Conqueror. But we not getting that shit. I was all excited about that, but it's not happening. Does it suck that they going to have to recast and go somewhere? Yes. But the moral of the story is, everybody should probably keep their damn hands to themselves. I don't care what's going on. The other thing is, I'm going to just be let's just be honest. If I'm Jonathan Majors and his girlfriend, Miss Jabari, who has the blackest last name for a white person I've ever seen, but if Miss Jabari is in the car and she sees another text message, I personally think like, you're here because I'm Jonathan Majors. I feel like at that point in your career, you can objectively just be upfront and be like, other women are going to call me. That's just, it is what it is. You could elect to be cool with it, or you could elect to not be cool with it. I think that's the easiest thing that he could have done. Shout out to him. It was a smart move to run down the streets of Manhattan with your boots and calves out, just looking crazy. I thought that was a smart move in hindsight, but, to no avail. He was found guilty. Disney was like, we're not waiting to see if you appeal it because we don't really give a damn. Excuse me. So I'm going to be interested and see if he files a notice of appeal. Typically, you have 10 days to file a notice of appeal after the verdict of a trial. In most states, it may be a little bit different, but you'll have a select time frame to file that notice of appeal. Now, when filing a notice of appeal, I guess I'll tell you, I don't think that it's a bad case to appeal because I think he has facts that are actually favorable. I think it could go either way just looking at the facts, especially if they present it different. Most times, I've had clients who were found guilty. They filed a notice of appeal, and it was for no reason. I'm like, dude, they had video evidence. What the dude? They got video evidence. That's clearly you on the video. Well, I want to file an appeal. A lot of times when you file an appeal without a basis in law, as in you don't have the interpretation of the law, is something that you can really challenge, or a basis of fact saying the facts are in my favor. And that if you just file an appeal just to file it, just to make them work, the judges is going to, whatever sentence you got at first, is you probably going to get maxed out because judges and people typically hate that. And even as a prosecutor, if, when not on the defense side, but as a prosecutor, if I prosecute somebody, you're found guilty and you want to file a notice of appeal, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, if we file a notice of appeal and you make me do this over, if you're found guilty, I'm asking for the max. I'm not asking for the minimum. I'm not going to leave it up to the judge. So there's a couple of things he got to balance. There's a chance that he won't get hit over the head because I think he does have a valid factual argument because the facts are so close, it could be 50-50. And I'm going to just be honest, like, if it were me and I was, because it's up to the client to file an appeal. Us attorneys, we can't make that call. But if it were up to me to file a notice of appeal, I would file it because I think even though he was found guilty, I think that odds are in his favor because he doesn't need to convince 12 people. He just has to convince one person. He just has to convince one person. And I think that that's something that is probably doable. And he doesn't have any prior contact with the court, so I don't think his sentence is going to be anything where he got to do any time. He's probably going to get some type of probation because it doesn't look like he has any prior conduct with the court. Hey, like I said, when you reach the level of where Jonathan Majors was going, I don't care, white, black, gray, plaid, checkered. You just need to be up front and be like, look, other women gonna call me. You can be cool with it or not, but I just it ain't a one person thing. I mean, I think that was the best thing that he could have did. And now this lady with the blackest name that I've ever seen a white woman have, essentially because he couldn't make better choices, they both was acting ridiculous. He should have learned a lesson, or he should have known better, or he should have made better decisions. And because he didn't, he about to let a shitload of money slip through his hands. It's crazy as hell, but I don't know. I mean, the Disney bag is gone already, so he probably won't file a notice of appeal because the Disney bag is already gone. They already cut ties. Like if they would have been like, well, he's filed a notice of appeal, let's see how it plays out. Or they wouldn't have made a decision, but immediately they didn't even give. Dude got 10 days to file a notice of appeal. It was 10 minutes after the guilty verdict, and Disney was like, cut. And we also got to look at the dynamics, though. Because, let's turn to the DC comic side. Let's turn to the movie The Flash. Let's look at Ezra Miller and all the BS that this dude was caught up in. This dude had a felony burglary charge. He had an assault charge. He had some trespassing charge. This dude kept getting in trouble, and DC was like, we rocking with him. People was like, get the Flash from TV. They was like, nah, we rocking with him. so it's definitely sometimes it's different rules for different players. Y'all already know what it is. That's why I think, fellas, the best thing you could do is, you got to really, and it's hard to do because you'll know when somebody gonna switch up or something like that. So, everybody keep their damn hands to themselves. Fellas, be up front with the ladies. Be like, yo, I'm making movies with Michael B. Jordan. All right. Look at you and look at me. That's what he should have said. He should have been, look at you, now look at me. Now look at you and look at me. All right. Don't worry about who calling me, all right? We can enjoy this night on the town or not. And it is what it is. But she had a clear sense that it was a one-on-one, and they were an item, and it was just those two. And he should have nipped that in the bud off the break, in my personal opinion. But that's how it played out, yo. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Y'all think he should appeal it, get another trial in front of another jury, see if he can convince all 12 or at least just one to have a hung jury? Or you think, hey, he already lost the Disney bag, let's start the rehabilitation. Everybody talk about Jonathan Majors rich. He rich, but he ain't rich. He ain't rich for purposes of Hollywood. I don't know what his net worth is. Of course, I looked it up. It said his net worth was $3 million, which is rich for like normal people. But let's say his net worth is 2 times that, $6 million. That's not Hollywood rich at all. Like that's regular, like doctor rich. $6 million is like doctor, hardworking teacher, a high-level government employee rich who real smart and savvy with it. But $6 million in Hollywood, you broke as hell. So it's going to be interesting to see how his career go. What's the chick he was with now? I see he walked out the courtroom with the black woman on his shoulder. I can't think of her name. She used to be married to the pastor, but man, it's terrible, man. He lost everything that was right at his damn doorstep, right at his fingertips for making a bad decision. And that's, hey, a lesson learned for him, but damn, that's a terrible way to lose a bag. That's it for this video. I just wanted to give y'all an update. Later on tonight, we're going to talk about a new scam. Well, it's not really a new scam. It's an old scam that's kind of been repackaged. And I saw it on the news and I thought, this is an interesting way to repackage a scam. And I said we should talk about it. And one of the reasons we got to talk about it is because I'm going to be honest with y'all. Megan Good, that's her name. I can't think of her name. Megan Good. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah. Like it says his net worth is $3 million. Let's give him $6 million. Let's double that. Let's triple it, $9 million. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know how long Megan Good gonna stick around if he start making Tubi movies. I'm not saying she in it for the paper. I'm just saying that, hey, she gonna have a certain level of standards that she accustomed to, man. And Jonathan Majors, you see, he was on tour with Michael B. Jordan. As soon as this came up, Michael B. Jordan got the hell out of here. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. The fall from grace is real, man. I always like to see a rehabilitation story. Hey, this was Chris Breezy at one point. At one point, Chris Brown got caught up, and he was able to kind of rehabilitate himself. And, I think the other thing, too, is, when you're really talented and you kind of just known for being out there like Chris Brown was, after a while, people are like, yeah, he just crazy as hell. It is what it is, but the dude is talented. So maybe we'll see Jonathan Majors on the screen again, but I think his next few projects are going to be straight to Tubi movie, something, smaller where he got to get his shine and work his way back up. And I mean, honestly, it's possible he may not even be able to catch that shine and that lightning bolt like he did, because he came out of nowhere. I was like, who's this big, homely looking dude who dressed like a 1965 civil rights activist all the time? Even his outfit in court. I was like, I saw a suit and I was like, man, this dude dressed like somebody who's guilty. Like his suit was all baggy. I was just like, dude, when you go to court, at least don't look like you're guilty. Like this dude looked like he got that jump from Ross. His suits. But yo, that's it for this video. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment. This dude clearly fumbled the bag. He probably never gonna get that Disney bag again. He just gonna have to make do with whatever he can get until somebody decide to give him a shot, and hopefully he could change things up. Yo, if you enjoyed this video, real quick before I go, yo. Nah, court. Hey, when you in court, as somebody who's been in court for a lot of years on the defense and prosecuting side, yo, especially when you got like the court of public opinion, because people already made their mind up, and it's hard to get a jury who, a case like this, you can't find a jury who's really fair and impartial. It's going to be impossible to, because everybody know the facts. It's people on YouTube, every media outlet, Entertainment Tonight is talking about it. So people already made up their minds before they went in. That's one of the reasons why. And for that reason, the more popular you are in society, the harder it's going to be to convict you, because the jury pool is already tainted. That's just personally why I think it'll be very hard to get a criminal conviction on like somebody like our former president. Find 12 people? You think you're going to find 12 people? Even you could be in the bluest state in the world. I just think it'll be hard to find 12 people who are just like, nah. It may be one fanboy on there. It's going to be one person who probably won't see it that way. And so popularity does help. It is a reason. When people have gag orders and the court say, don't talk about the case, and they go in the media because they got a platform and talk about a case, it actually benefits them, because they have an opportunity to just taint the jury pool. They can say all of that stuff. They can get back to the jury, influence the jury's decision. It's crazy. Yeah, I agree with that. Because sometimes you gotta I was explaining this to somebody. They were talking about Russell Simmons' interview he did with Russell Simmons. I don't know if y'all remember, Russell Simmons had some legal heat coming, and he just sold all of his stuff and went to Bali. And everybody was like, well, what's that about? And I was like, yo, if they coming for you and they want to come for you, they gonna come for you. I don't care if it's criminal, civil. It is what it is. The legal system can be weaponized. The legal system, it can be weaponized against somebody who didn't do anything. If I have resources to file a case against you and we enter into a business deal and you do something I don't like, I could file a lawsuit saying anything. Oh, you breached your contract because of A, B, and C. If you ain't got the money to go to court, or you got to go to court on your own because you can't afford a lawyer, man, you're going to lose so much money in court. You're probably going to lose the case if you're going in there representing yourself. And the legal system can be weaponized against anybody. But yeah, we was having a conversation about Russell Simmons, and he did what us attorneys refer to as liquidate and relocate. See, the problem is most of your clients, if you're a small town attorney, they don't have the ability to liquidate anything and relocate. But yeah, liquidate and relocate is what rich people do when, hey, it's getting a little hot for you. If you can relocate somewhere else and sell some shit and do so, get out there and do it. And that's what Russell Simmons did, in my personal opinion. He sold a lot of his assets. He got out of town amidst some bubbling of legal controversies, and we haven't heard anything about it since. And he avoided the whirlwind when everybody was getting caught up in New York with the all of the charges that was coming with that statute that allowed people to bring these cases from 1982, out of the woodwork. So, hey, the legal system, it works sometimes it doesn't. It can be weaponized. It depends on who you are, where you are, who the judge is, if you got any paper. Because if you ain't got no money, I can remember being in court. I lie to you not. I was waiting for a case to get called, and me and my partner, another attorney, we standing in court, and younger white guy went up on probation, didn't do anything he was supposed to do, and the judge was like, "I'm going to give you more time to get the restitution and all of that stuff, and go about your business. Come back in 6 months." Right after that, older black guy walked up, and if you saw this guy, he looked disheveled, like one leg was longer than the other. He was walking with a limp, coming up to the thing, and we was just sitting on the wall. And he started pleading his case. No lawyer. He started pleading his case. He had the exact, in front of the same judge, literally the next case up, same judge. I mean, it was so terrible. Same judge and everything, and exact same facts. On probation, didn't pay any money towards the restitution. Judge was like, "I'm fixing to throw you in jail." I felt so bad. The dude wasn't my client, because as soon as they was having the conversation, me and my boy looked at each other, because we was just like, "Oh," we was like, "Oh shit." We already knew where it was about to go, and I felt so bad. I was like, "Yana, I'm representing Mr. Such and Such on this case." And I stepped in and represented that dude in that case and once I stepped in, got in front of the judge, I was able to get him some time. He was able to get out there. And I remember I went back to my office, and I was like, "Hey, I got this guy named, assign me this dude case." And they just gave me that dude case so I can help him out. But the scales of justice are imbalanced. That's why they call scales. Sometimes they balance, sometimes they tip one way, sometimes they tip another way. The moral of the story is, try to avoid bullshit if you can. Sometimes you can't avoid it. Sometimes somebody will cap on you, somebody will lie, somebody make things up. But try to keep your circle tight. And I'm gonna be real talk. If I was a celebrity, I said this before, they should have like a consent app like this on your phone. Like if I'm a multi-gazillionaire, like, I met this girl at the club, XYZ, we're going back to the crib to tell you wherever rich guys take girls back to. You're like, hey, they pull up their consent app. There's a little thumbprint, boop, facial recognition, because it's a phone. You can do all of that stuff. They should have it so you can just do all of that stuff right there. I hereby do consent to, and you just check here, and here. You looking at the box, you check. You're like, okay. You check the boxes, boop, she put her thumbprint down. You sign something with your electronic signature. I'm sober. I'm doing this under my own influence without blah, blah, blah. The only problem is going to be like if you meet these girls at a club, the argument is going to be like, I just signed it because I was drunk. But, you know, hey, a consent app where you can actually do all of that stuff could be something that could get a lot of people out of a load of trouble. Yeah, yeah. But I don't know. It's wild. That's it for this video. I'm about to hop off here because my baby girl is on her way back. She has some big time dance stuff to do in New York. So I gotta go down and greet her and make sure that everything is all right. I know she's gonna be sleepy as hell. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed. I'm gonna get at y'all later. We're gonna talk about another scam that's out. And for some reason, people aren't getting the gift card scam. I put a short up that's got mad views about a gift card scam. I thought it was new. I've been doing fraud cases for a long ass time. I've never heard of a gift card scam done this way, but I see a lot of comments where people are confused about it. They're like, why would they take the gift card and then bring it back if they already had the gift card? So for anybody who saw that short, let me get a real quick explanation to clear it up. Then I'm getting the hell out of here, okay? Gift card sits on the wall at Target. They got all the damn gift cards in there. Scammer comes in, take the gift card off the wall, right? He takes it, he leaves with a shitload of gift cards. Scammer got 10 gift cards. On the gift cards, there's a barcode on the gift card that the clerk will scan, boop, to bring it up. But there's also a barcode on the gift card that they scan to put money on the actual card itself. So if the person just stole the gift cards and had them, that's not going to do anything if the clerk doesn't upload money or somebody doesn't upload money to it. They got to activate the card, upload money to it. So they take the cards, they got all the cards at the crib. What they do is that number where you upload money, the magnetic strip on your card, you can have a blank credit card and put a magnetic strip that's exactly the same as your bank card on your wallet on this makeshift card that you made. So what they'll do is they take that gift card, open it up, the magnetic strip on that card, they wipe that out, they put a new one on there. That new magnetic strip that they put on there is a copy of a magnetic strip on a card that they have in their possession already, that's already activated. They close that gift card up, glue it the hell back up all messy, go back into the store, hang them all back up. So when John Doe go in and, I'm buying this gift card for my niece in college, it's a Visa gift card. When they go to the clerk scans the actual card, they scan the actual cardboard to the card, which is boop, that's the gift card. Then how much you want to put on it? $500? Boop, when they put the $500 on that gift card that the customer think they bought, that $500 is actually getting scanned to a code, a magnetic strip code, a serial number that's associated with the card that the scammer has. So what does the scammer do? They probably got somebody on that end checking those damn cards every 15 minutes to see if funds are uploaded. Because the minute those funds are uploaded, they probably move it to a new card, or they probably go ahead and make a purchase. But that's kind of how it works. And a lot of people were like kind of confused. So I was like, let me explain what's going on. And why would you put this up? Now people know how to do it. Well, you put videos of scammers and cops put examples of what scammers do up because most people are honest. Most people are going to abide by the law. Very few people are going to see that video I put up and be like, let me go out and try to scam this. Most people are going to use that information to try to avoid getting finessed or scammed. How do you know most people are honest? Just think about it. It's people out there who ran Ponzi schemes, who stole thousands of dollars from people, and the people who committed these crimes are still walking in the street. No, under any other circumstances, nobody ain't hit their head yet. Nobody did nothing now because most people are law-abiding citizens, and they know if they hit somebody's head, they're not going to get their money back. That's the reason why cops put detailed, this is how the scam is done. They show you how it's done because they know if they put that information out there, majority of people are going to use it to try to avoid being scammed. It may be a few chuckleheads who try to do it to finesse the system, but hey, that's on them. When they get popped, they're gonna end up either paying some lawyer, but chances are if they do that, they probably gonna have to get a court lawyer anyway, because that's probably not the smartest scheme you could pull. That's it for this video. Y'all take care. Everybody be blessed. Be safe. Check out the next video that's going to pop up on the screen for y'all replay, folks. It'll be something finance related or an attorney reaction. Peace.